Happy Monday, and welcome to Scribbles with Jonathan. I'm your host, Jonathan Rector, and this is episode 6. Today, we're going to watch me draw, and it should be pretty fun. I finally got the video set up to work. I had to download a couple extra programs to actually get my webcam to pick this up, and I'm hoping, anyway, that once this goes on YouTube, that it won't be too compressed, that we won't be able to see too much with the gray. I do use a 2H LED, so it is a little bit light, especially for the camera to pick up. And as you can see, where it's actually located right now, it's actually in my shirt. No, but it's actually looking down, so that's why some of the areas you can't see up at the top here, I will try to adjust that and try to compensate for it in future videos. But today I thought I would do something a little bit crazy. It was twofold. One is, I'll tell you what I intended to draw. It was going to be some sort of space adventuring fishman, and I think you'll see it as it goes along towards the end. I'm not sure if it came out as such, but it was good just to get a little vent out. Right now, I'm just drawing people talking in a restaurant for a comic project right now. So, sometimes keeping it a little fresh and spicing it up a bit, adding some, things such as this, like a fish space person with a blaster. You don't get to draw things like that, so what the heck, I figured we'd throw it into a little sketch and get the camera thing working. But like I said, it serves two purposes. One of them is it is a general design and creation that I don't get to often do for paid work or anything like that. Like I did say, it is for a break, but the other reason is because I think I've come up with an idea for what I can bring to the conventions this year when I do start attending them. And I was talking in the previous video about worrying about if I'd have enough time to do the type of comic that I would like to do to show people for a creator-owned project. And the reason why I thought I might not be able to do that is because of the time constraints in doing such that it would give me. And I've come to the conclusion one of two things. One, I can do what's called a mini comic, and I've been doing some research and listening more about that, and it sounds really interesting, and I like the idea. Basically, it's exactly what it is. It sounds like, and the title says it's a comic, but in a mini format. What this allows you to do is you have to keep a much simpler style, and you work at a smaller resolution, I suppose you could say, because it's going to be printed on about, imagine if you had like an 8.5 by 11 and you just folded it in half, and maybe that might be too big, maybe a little bit smaller than that, but I'm not too sure how that's going to come across yet. So what I might do is just do a regular comic book page size, but keep the style very line workish, I suppose, like not put too much detail and rendering in, just something to get the emotion and the fun across. And one of the big deals that I was having before with some of the projects that I wanted to get done is I wanted to have a nice story. I mean, that's part of the reason why people read comics to start with, right? And the stories that I wanted to tell, I was thinking we're turning a little bit too epic, I suppose you could say, and I'm not a killer writer by any means, but I wanted to have plot developments and twists, and these are things that I'll work on in the future. Right now, under time constraints, I don't think it's wise to do so. So what I'm going to do is, write it as something just to have fun with. Something actually, like, even if, we'll just say that for right now, for the character that I'm doing, we'll say if he was the main character. I mean, you can't take that, personally, I couldn't take it too seriously if I saw that, and that was the main character, and I think that's the kind of point that I want to get across. When you see something like this as the main character, you're expecting something fun, and if I put him into an environment where he's in a spacesuit with a blaster, then I think it starts getting really, really interesting. Just like let me flip through a couple pages and see what it's about. So that's what I was kind of going for. So that's what I'm tinkering around with right now, and I think for the next couple days as I'm doing these videos, I think we'll just take some more looks at things like that, just to get the brain going. Also, these little diversions allow me to get my brain thinking about the kind of story I want to tell and get ready to bring to the convention. And the convention I'm talking about again will be the Fan Expo in Toronto this year. I won't be able to go to any other ones this year, but next year I definitely want to hit some more up. And just to give you a little heads up of what I'm doing. Again, this is pretty much how I would normally work, except as you can see, like the line weight and stuff like that's kind of off. I'm not taking my time to line things up. This is a 10-minute sketch, so, I have to fit it within the constraints of YouTube and, that kind of stuff. So how I work is I'll do like the quick sketch that you saw in the beginning of the video, and basically what I'm trying to work out there is the ideas that I want to get across. Of course, if I was doing this for an actual client or a final piece, that the initial step I would take much more than 10 minutes to do. Basically, what you're trying to do is get the lines that you want, meaning you want to have the energy, the action that you want to get across in those lines. Then, and I do that very lightly. Then I go over it again, and this time I'm getting a little bit more confident with the lines, but again, still being very loose. And this is where you'll start throwing in your anatomy. And you know, everybody's anatomy is a little different. Some people like to do every single muscle. Some people like to do very faint lines just to let the imagination do the rest. And what I was doing in this one anyway is just telling myself, where right now, where the forearm was, bicep, shoulder, chest, all that stuff. Then I take my eraser. You can use a regular eraser, or I use a kneadable eraser. I know a lot of people use that. And basically, I just erase the entire image. And be a little bit careful with it. You don't want to erase it so you're literally erasing it. You just want to basically graze over it lightly so that it brings it down a tone so you can still see it. Like you can still see the under drawing right now. And then from there, you just sharpen your pencil if you want to, and you just start getting in with the confident lines. Then from here, I would start adding in, after this anyway, start tightening up if I needed to, and then just start adding in your line weights and your shadows. So I have done a little bit of shadows in this, but again, it's only 10 minutes, so we can only do what we can fit in here. But again, if anybody has any questions or comments or anything like that, just ask or leave them, and I'll answer them in the next video, or I'll send you a private message. It's no big deal, just to clear things up for you. But yeah, he's pretty much done. I didn't have any kind of like reference or idea of what his costume was going to be beforehand. Just the concept in my mind of a fish character in a spacesuit in space. So right now he could be going against some cow slugs on planet 36 Red. Who cares? It's just getting those sketches out and getting the brain going and having fun. That's the main thing. You want to have fun with this. I think another good practice about doing these things too is the memory game you're playing. You're remembering certain things that you're doing here. Like right now, I'm just throwing in shadows and things that I'm comfortable doing in a final piece so they can come across quicker here. But at the same time, you're also doing lines and stuff that you might accidentally throw on here that you're like, oh man, I like the way the line brings that shoulder into the chest. That's really cool. I'm going to, you remember those kinds of things, so when you're doing your final pieces, you can just toss it in there, Yeah, just still tossing things in. Nothing crazy. Just basically rounding the form out here, just so it can pop a little bit better. Separate some of the set pieces on his costume a little bit more, and make him look like he's shooting off into the distance. Nothing crazy. You don't have to go too crazy with the special effects. I mean, I'm just putting in lines here. You get the point across here, and the video is pretty much done. And it blacks out here, so basically, I'm just going to show you the scan, so you can see a nice, finished tight image of it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Take care.